Okay, so if you've watched any of my other videos that are coming out about this time, you might think I never change my clothes because I'm wearing the same thing in all of them. But that's because, like I explained on one of them, my husband is working late tonight. He has SWAT practice and they are, I don't know, doing some sort of night work with helicopters and drones and practicing. I don't even know what. I don't know what he's doing. I can't wait to ask him. It sounds like it was a fun practice. But because of that, I have the house to myself for the night. My kids are, 2 of my 4 kids are asleep. 2 of them are awake. One of them just finished reading a book. The other just turned the light off from reading, and you can't hear it from here, but he is listening to a book on tape. That's how he falls asleep. He listens to the same like 4 books over and over again, and he just goes to sleep to them, which I think is weird. I could never fall asleep doing that, but that's what he does. Guys, it's kindergarten. I have my 3rd son starting kindergarten next year, the 2021-2022 year that's coming up. Kindergarten. I am so freaked out to think about teaching kindergarten. I know there are people out there who talk about how freaked out they are about teaching high school. I don't have to worry about that yet. My oldest is moving into 6th grade. If you don't know me, I have 4 kids. 3 are now going to be school age, though this last year there were 3, but the one was doing preschool, which was kind of loosey-goosey. But kindergarten, this is where you learn to read. This is where you learn your math, like your number sense, all of your foundational skills. What if I screwed up? That's what I just keep thinking. So I'm super freaked out about this, and I spend a lot of time thinking about it and going over it in my head. But I have settled on my curriculum picks for the year, so let me tell you what they're going to be. So math, let's do math. Math is easy. We have already started math. We started this during preschool. So we got The Good and the Beautiful's Math Level K. This is their older version of math. We got it when it went on super sale because they came out with they were coming out with their new math. I don't know if they've come out with it yet or not. I don't think they have. And it's supposed to be way more simplified. This has tons and tons of manipulatives to it. But my son loves the manipulatives, and he loves this math. He thinks it's so fun, and he feels really cool being able to add and do all these things and say he's doing his math. So we've really loved The Good and the Beautiful's math so far for him. Yeah, I'm loving it. He will, my goal is to get him through section 1 by the end of the summer, which really, that's only 3 lessons. I should easily be able to do that, but we just kind of never seem to get to it right now. But if we can get through unit 1, let me see how far that gets us. That will get us, I think, that gets us about halfway through the first book, so about a quarter of the way through, which gives us a really good amount of time to work through this level K during the school year and not feel super stressed if maybe I miss a day, as I try to get used to schooling 3 kids full time instead of just 2. I just know there's going to be a lot more trying to fit everything in, and it's going to get hectic, and I don't want to be super stressed because I miss a lesson with him. So I love that we've already started this, and I'm not going to feel like we're getting behind. So math with The Good and the Beautiful is happening, and I'm really loving it so far. Okay, now onto the big one. Reading, language arts. What are we doing? So we have already started the reading lesson. My mom bought this for me at a consignment sale, and it was so random, and I had never heard of it, and I thought, it says, teach your child to read in 20 easy lessons, and I said, you can't teach your child to read in 20 easy lessons. And then I realized, like, each lesson was not intended to be done in one sitting. The lesson itself sometimes takes, if you did it every day, it would still take a few weeks. We do not do it every day. During the school year, our goal was to hit it 3 times a week. Once we started doing it, it's worked well. We are in lesson 6 right now. And so this is what lesson 6 looks like. He can read this almost no problem. So I really like that it introduces a lot of these sight words that I always wondered why they were sight words when they are words that they can sound out. Like little, he can sound that out. And he doesn't have to learn as a sight word. So I still introduce sight words. We have been working on sight words. I think we're on up to 20, not very many. So that he can just get practice with them, reading them off. But so far I've really liked how the reading lesson has been laid out, and he's doing really well with it. We are also combining it with Bob books. We've got some Magic School Bus early reader books that he is working through, some other little like sight word little books that are similar to Bob books, and we're using all of that in combination, along with sometimes we originally started using the Easy Peasy Learn to Read program, which is also very good, and he was doing well with, so we kind of sometimes use it too to break things up. We use a lot of different things. So the goal for next year will be to finish the reading lesson. Yeah, and hopefully that won't take too long. If we can work through this summer, then yeah, we will have, I don't know how long it'll take us to get through this. I really can't say. It just depends on how much he can read in a day before I feel like he's losing it. I don't push him. If we read a page and it was really long, so some pages, so let me show you. So some pages are really simple like this because it's reading a story. But right before that, he was given, because we're working on the long E sound here, he was given a list of words like this, and sometimes those are harder for him to read because they're not a story. And so we can do that, and then I can tell he's losing it. I'm losing his focus. And so I don't push him, because if I push him, he starts to resent it and he doesn't want to read with me and he fights me. So right now he loves doing it with me. So we do what I feel like he's capable. Some days he can do 4 or 5 pages in here. Some days we do 1 and I can just feel he's restless. So I can't guarantee how long this will take, but our number 1 goal will be to get through the reading lesson. Also this summer and then into the beginning of next year, we are going to be working with Explode the Code. I've just heard so many good things about this helping kids develop strong reading skills when it comes to phonics. So we have our get ready, get set, and go for the code. These are what he's going to start with this summer. And then I already have number 1 for him to move into. Looking through these primers, he's already pretty much past these. So I expect him to move through these pretty quickly and move into the Explode the Code, because even looking at level 1, I feel like he can do a large amount of this. But I want him to have a really, really good foundation before we start into. So he doesn't have to finish those. He has to finish the reading lesson and then be working through Explode the Code. And then we will start the Good and the Beautifuls level K. He has tested into being able to do this, but from everything I've heard and everything I've read, this is really advanced and moves really fast. And so kids who will often, from what I've read, not everyone, but a lot of kids have had to get about halfway through and then stop, go to a different program, do it, and then come back. I am hoping that if we do this reading lesson and we get far into Explode the Code, and we continue with all the other reading that we're doing, that we won't have to backtrack, that we can get onto this and we can just work our way through it. I don't have a problem with this going into first grade. I don't expect to finish this next year. So this is what we will end next year with. I'm hoping we can get into it before Christmas time, but it will just depend on how long it takes to finish the reading lesson and feel like he's strong in that. So that comes with, here's the reader. Looking at the reader, he can read a decent amount of this already, but definitely not all of it. He's definitely not ready for words like fly and play. He doesn't know the ending Y sound yet, so he's close, and I think he'll do well with it. Again, I just don't want to turn him off of his love of reading, so I don't want to push him too fast, and I don't want to have to backtrack and jump to another curriculum. I'm hoping we can get him a really strong foundation, and then this will feel like review and moving forward. Okay, it also comes with phonics cards that I obviously have not opened yet because we're not starting this right now. And mini books that I have to cut out and put together. Again, not opened because not starting it yet. Along with that, he will be doing handwriting from the level K. He probably has the best handwriting out of my 3 boys. So I'm hoping to encourage that by just getting him some good handwriting practice. I've heard really good things about the program. So I'm hoping if we just actually start, my other boys have had no formal handwriting done with them other than whatever they just did in kindergarten. So I'm hoping that by using this and continuing this, I can get at least one of my kids to have good handwriting. Let's see, what else? Okay. So history and science are done as group family subjects, but I don't plan to require him to be there doing it with us as a kindergartner or as a first grader. My second grader did it with us this past year, and that age worked really well. So that's kind of what we'll shoot for. I will be giving him coloring sheets and whatnot in the hopes that he'll stay in here with us, but he won't be required to. Because of that, I also want to make sure I don't miss the foundational, fun kindergarten things that we learn about. So on Fridays, we will not be doing math, and we won't be doing as much reading. We will still do some because we need that every day. But we will be doing science and social studies, kind of switching back and forth. So I just got the 180 days of social studies for kindergarten and the 180 days of science for kindergarten to give me a place to go off of so I know what they are learning in kindergarten. So I can grab this. We'll just start at the beginning. He will hopefully be doing this with his cousin who will be in kindergarten, and we will be doing it on Fridays with her. But for example, the first section is about living things. Now this is broken up. This would be everything you do on day 1. Chances are we would do the entire week, because this is made to do 1 a day. We would do the entire week in 1 day. So we would do all the living things, and I would use that to also look up a project or a craft. Sorry, I got a kid out. Oh, did you finish reading that?
Yeah.
Cool. I will mark it. Was it good? Good. Good night. Go to bed. Go. Okay. Okay. So I will be looking up on Pinterest for activities to do or craft projects to do that go with that. So that's science, same thing with social studies, but we will probably do science all the way through. So this is earth and space, life, and physical science. We'll do, I think it starts with life. We will probably do all of the life science before then we do whatever comes in social studies. I'll pick one of these and we'll work our way through that. So we won't be doing science and social studies both in one day. We'll do all science in one day and we'll focus on that for a few weeks, and then we will switch and do a social studies the same way, all of it each week for however long it takes us to get through a section. So there's 4 sections in social studies, 3 sections in science. I don't know how many we'll get through. We don't have to get through all of them, just however many works. The other thing for him will be his electives. He will be doing this with his brother who will be in 3rd grade. We will be using Easy Peasy All-in-One Homeschool. I have not yet decided which ones we are going to do, but he will be doing art, music, and then PE and health. He won't really have a PE component. He'll just be told to go play, but the health component is what I really just want to cover with the 2 of them. They're active enough that I'm not stressed about the whole PE aspect. And so that is my kindergarten curriculum picks. If you've done kindergarten before, or if you are doing kindergarten this next year, what are you using? What have you used? What's worked? What do you think of my choices? Did I make good choices? I would love for you to validate my choices. That would be really awesome. Anyways, have a good night, and I will see y'all in the next video.